Hello friends, you're the Lonesome Gamer, and I'm playing my last round of Mage Knight. This is the night of the third day. I have to conquer the city, but I already did a lot of this job. I only have to kill the thugs, and then I can enter the city, and that should not be a big problem. We got Volker here, and he will come closer then to the city, and he's gonna attack the city. We have to kill him in this night, or actually we have to kill his whole army in the night to win the scenario. If we don't manage to do this, we've lost. So now I prepare the last round, change the spell offer. So we have here underground travel. Move by up to 3 revealed spaces on the map. You may not move to or through swamps or lake this way. And you must end your move on a safe space. Doesn't provoke rampaging enemies. And here you have to end your move on a fortified site. It ends your movement and counts as an assault. Ignore site fortifications. That's the underground attack. And now we have to throw away the blood ritual, which is really sad. It was such a great card, but I decided for a bonus unit instead. So here we have now Into the Heat. Play this card at the start of the combat. All of your units gain their attack and block values increased by 2 this combat. You cannot assign damage to units this turn. Play this card at the start of the combat by 3. That's great. Fine, then we have to reshuffle our play deck, and we have now 2 wounds that will go into the deck. And I forgot, when I leveled up the last time, I forgot to take this command token. So I have this now here. And that allows me to hire a new unit, a 5th one then. In addition to this unit, I have now also a armor class of 4 instead of 3. Then the mana crystal here goes away. And I have to place a new mana crystal from my inventory there to keep these magic familiars. And I think I will take the green crystal, and that gives me a special ability of heal 3 altogether. Then I can flip again my special skills. And I've chosen the Mana Search as a tactic for this round. It says once per turn, before you use mana from the source, you may reroll up to 2 mana dice in the source. When choosing dice to reroll, you must pick gold dice first, if there are any. Okay. And let's see what the other guy takes. Yeah, I was unlucky here. He takes From the Dusk. So he starts this turn. And that is a little bit of a problem. And by the way, I found his token finally in the box. His turn order token. So now we place his token here, and I place mine underneath. flip the card, roll the dice. And that's a bad. That's really bad. That's very bad, because we now have 2 golden mana, and that is possible. I can place this, but I cannot use them. And now I was very lucky that I've chosen the mana search, because otherwise I would be in deep trouble now. I can re-roll these dice. That's possible now. Okay, and finally I have to refresh the unit offer. And this time it's a little different, because there is a city revealed. So now the first unit we take from the offer is a golden one. And these are fire mages. Sadly, we can only hire them in a mage tower or a monastery. Then we have to alternate. So now we will take a silver unit, another magic familiars. Now we can take another gold unit. And these are heroes. And I think that's pretty awesome. We can hire these guys in the city, and they're really strong. So I guess I will try to hire them later on. And then the fourth unit is again a silver one, the herbalists. And then we draw 2 advanced action cards for the monasteries on the board. The temporal portal that you may move to an adjacent revealed safe space without provoking. Whether you move or not, your hand limit is higher by 1. Well, that's good. But I think this is not so interesting now in this stage of the game. And the next one would be a frost bridge, move 2, it's also about movement. Okay. So, I think I'm ready now to start this last round. So first of all, he moves again. Nope, he doesn't. So let's roll, and now we can really hope that he doesn't roll a red mana token. And we were lucky here, that's a blue one, very good. And now I can do the mana search. Before you use mana from the source, you may reroll up to 2 mana dice in the source. I will absolutely do this because I cannot use these 2 mana dice, so I will roll them. These are 2 green. This is also not so great because I only got blue and green mana now in the source. But it's better than before. I'm really thankful I have this ability now. Okay, and then I will simply try to attack the city. Let's see what I got here. I have a wound right in my starting hand. But I could also heal that. I'm not sure. Let's see what I can do now. Okay, so for the attack of the city, for assaulting the city, I lose another reputation. And I will heal my peasants before I do the fighting. So I will use this. Gain a blue crystal. And now they're healed. And I enter the city with the March ability, 2. And now let me see. I will not block the attack of the thugs. I take the attack, and it's if it's unblocked, it's a brutal attack, so I have to take 6 wounds or 6 damage. And I deal 1 damage to the peasants. And another one I take for myself. And then I want to keep this blood rage when I fight against him. I think this card is too good to use it against the thugs. So now I will activate the Northern Monks. They have an attack of 3. And then I use the Determination. It's an attack of 2. So this is now enough to kill the thugs. And by the way, for every unit that I killed in the city, I can place one of my markers here. And in a multiplayer game, this shows the player who has the most markers here is the leader of the city, and he's got some privileges then. So I'm now the leader of the city. And in addition, I gain 2 fame, and there is a special thing. I gain +1 reputation. You can see this here because of the thugs. So my reputation goes up again, and I gain 2 fame, and that means that I can level up. Okay. And then I guess, yeah, I'm not absolutely sure. I think I'm fine. I simply draw, announce the end of the turn, and I simply draw another card. So this is really a tough decision. I'm not sure which one to use. Into the Heat is definitely a good card. I mean, play this card at the start of the combat. All of your units get their attack and block values increased by 2 this combat. The Crystal Mastery is also great. Gain a crystal to inventory of the same color as a crystal you already own, or at the end of your turn, any crystals you have spent this turn are returned to your inventory. Especially this one is an amazingly strong thing. On the other hand, Into the Heat is kind of tempting. Okay, I decided to I probably take this card for my level up, but first I'll take a look at my special skills. Let's see what we got here. I'm not sure if these are very useful things. I think we got this one here. Yeah, this is Hawk. Nope. Yeah, that's Hawk Eyes. Once a turn, move 1. In addition, during the night, exploring costs 1. Okay, that is definitely nothing I want. So what is this? That says dueling. Once a turn during the block phase. Block 1, attack 1 versus the same enemy in the attack phase. If you do not use any unit ability to block, attack or affect this enemy, nor assign damage from it to any unit, you gain 1 more fame for defeating it. Yeah, maybe I'll take that one. Yeah, I think that's good. That's not so bad. Gives me an additional... It's not a really great effect, but I don't know if I want that. The other one would be this one. Maybe that's better. But that means I have to take this one, the Crystal Mastery. I could not... Well, by the way, now I see, I forgot to draw skill tokens from this guy 1, 2, 3. I can draw another skill token, I think. Yeah, I forgot that the last time, but this is for influence, so I will not take that either. I think I want this card, so I'll take Into the Heat and place it here. And then I have to take one of these special skills here, so I will take that one. And this goes away. Okay, let's draw now the last card from the Volker deck. That's a red one. So let me see, I think he will attack, or tries to attack. So in this case I think he will not move. Well, let me see. Well, actually during this stage of the game, when there's a race for the city, he moves even on a red card. He doesn't try to attack me, so he simply moves now here. One step closer to the city. And then it's again my turn. Okay, so now I'm in the city and I want to hire the heroes. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. And to do this, I will play In Need. I need an influence of 9. So I will play In Need. And normally this gives me an influence of 3. An additional influence 1 for each wound card. So that would give me an influence of 6. But I can now use a green mana token, and then I have an influence of 5 plus 2 for each wound card, so that's more than enough. Okay, so this card goes away and I hired the heroes. You have to pay 2 influence to activate this unit during any assault or an attack on another player. So this is not the case, so I can simply, because I will not attack other players. So for the attack against Valkor or Volker, if he attacks us, at least I do not have to pay this influence. They can be pretty good, I think. So, and then I think I will heal, and I guess I will activate the magic familiars. They give me now a healing of 3 because of their green crystal. So I could now throw away all my wounds. And now I'm in a city, and I'm the leader of a city, and that means I got now an additional... actually, I think I forgot that during the last turn. I got now an additional hand size of 2. So I can draw now up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, cool. And I re-roll this die, and that's again a green one. It's not good. And now it's him. And now his deck is out of cards. So that means he comes now in this frenzy state. and that allows him to move 2 spaces during each turn. So he now moves here, and that means he will attack in the next turn. That's for sure. Okay, so what I do now is I will re-roll these 2 dice. With this mana search ability, and that's good. This time it's better. I get a red one, that's important, and a black one would be good too, maybe. And then I will discard the promise. And simply wait there in the city for him to show up, and I'm allowed now to draw another card. Oh, that's bad. That's another wound. That's definitely not good. Okay, anyway. So now, it's him. And he will now enter the city, and we come finally to the showdown. So first let's reveal what this last unit is here. Okay, I think these are some swordsmen. And yeah, okay. Then we have to roll here and see what kind of attack he does. So we use this die, that's a red one. So he does a fire attack of 3, brutal and assassination. And yeah, now I got to figure out how to handle this attack. I'm pretty sure that will take some time. Okay, so right at the beginning there is the ranged attack phase, and this guy is not fortified. Their units are not fortified. So what I can do now is I will use my fireball, activate it with a red mana die, and I will use the swiftness and activate the strong effect here, the ranged attack 3, with a white mana die. And then I can simply kill these guys here. They have a value of 5. I can kill them with the fireball, and I can kill these orcs here with their value of 3 with the swiftness. So I think that's a pretty good start. And by the way, this gives me 6 influence points, or 6 fame actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Just an explanation. This is also an ability that comes with the new, with the expansion. This is an elusive unit here, and here you have 2 armor values, and the lower value is only used in the attack phase. So if I want to do a ranged attack against this unit, I had to generate 6 ranged attack points. Okay. So let's see if I can do this the right way now. It's not so easy actually. I think I did this now. I tried this now for more than half an hour or so. It's a damn complicated thing. Let's see if I can do this now the right way. Okay, so we start with the block phase, of course. And we got now these 4 units. And I want to block his attack, Volkar's attack. And to do this, I will activate the Guardian Golems. And they have this they have an ice block. And this is a fire attack. So the only way to block this is with ice. And I will use my last crystal, the blue one, to use this ice block. So now his attack is blocked. Fine. This is actually the only attack. No, that's not true. I'm gonna block the attack of this guy here, of this orc. He's got an attack of 5, and I only use this thing here. So this is now an unsuccessful block, but it allows me to use an additional a +1 during the attack phase against the same enemy. I hope this is according to the rules. It's a little tricky, of course, because I take this unsuccessful block intentionally, but it doesn't say you have to do in a successful block. It just does say you get a +1 block and a +1 attack against the same enemy. So I tried to block him, I didn't make it, and now I take the damage. So now we come to the assigned damage phase. And against this guy now I take, I've got now this armor value of 4. And because he's got this assassination ability, I have to take this wound. So I have to take 1 more wound. By the way, I'm just curious what guy this is. It's Orc Trackers. Okay. And now we got, let me see. Yeah. Then actually this damage is assigned to the magic familiars. They have a combat. They have this armor of 5. So this guy does 5 damage. The dragon, and he has this poison ability. So the familiars take now 2 wounds. 1 because of the normal attack, and a second one because of the poison ability. Okay. So these are now there are these 2 guys left. And this one attacks and they take the wounds, the northern monks. And because this is a special ability, it says paralyze, it destroys the unit if they take a wound. If I've understood that right. Let me see here. If a unit gets wounded because of an attack from an enemy with paralyzed, it is immediately destroyed, removed from the game. Okay, so this is what happens. If my hero would be wounded from this, I had to discard all cards except wound cards, and I don't want to do that, of course. So now this card is out of the game, but he was activated anyway, so I think it doesn't matter. They sacrificed themselves for the greater good. That's me. And now we got these guys here. Let's see what that is exactly. These are simply guardsmen. And I take the wound from the guardsman too, so I have to take another wound now. Quite a lot, not good. Anyway, what happens now is, finally I come now to the attack phase. And first of all, I will activate the heroes. They have an attack value of 5. And the peasants, they have an attack value of 2. And these two guys now will kill this one here. And that is a freezer. So he is now killed. And then I go into a terrible blood rage, and I will use the concentration to gain a red mana token. And then I will use the blood rage, and I will increase. I take a wound, and I'll increase now the attack to 9. So that allows me now to kill the dragon. He's got exactly 9. So the dragon is now killed too. And finally, we got these two guys left now. And I blocked this one here, but I wasn't successful. So I have to deal with the higher value here, which is 6. But I can do this actually. I think I will use the improvisation and throw away that card. So that was, by the way, a complete waste actually. And just throw it away now. Because the problem with this card is it pushes up the values of these guys. That's good. But the bad thing is you cannot assign wounds to your units if you do that. And I had to do it. It was vital that I had the option to assign wounds to my units. So now I have this attack of 3. And then I can play this one, which pushes this up to an attack of 5. And finally now I got this additional attack value here. So this is an attack of 6, which is enough to kill him too. Okay. And that is now, man, that's the end of this combat round. And Volker was fended off. He is not defeated yet, but he was fended off. It's necessary to kill at least as many units as there are real players to fend off Volker from the city. If you don't manage to do this, you would enter the city and you lose the game. But well, I only had to kill 1 unit to fend him off, and in this case it was no problem. So now actually our Dark Lord, well, he just has these few guardsmen now with him, and I killed a lot of units now. And that gives me 14 fame and 3 more, so that gives me now 17 fame. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so now I got 86 fame, and I can level up once again. So I can now, in theory, hire 2 more units, because 1 was destroyed. I got this this command token left now, and I gain another command token because I leveled up. And the cool thing is now I got this I got an increased hand limit up to 7, and that's pretty important because I have 5 wounds now, which is of course bad. And I forgot, I will of course heal. I will use this skill to heal. I gain a white crystal, and I can throw away at least 1 wound. So now I have a hand limit of 7, and because I'm in my city, this is increased by 2, so I have now a hand limit of 9. So I can draw 5 cards. So in the end, these oh man, these wounds are not so terribly bad. So now there is one more creature to destroy, and I don't have to attack him by himself. That is not necessary. I just have to block his attacks, and I think if I destroyed his army, he runs away crying and I win the game. Well, actually, I'm not sure if I did this the right way now. Because, that's an interesting question. This thing happened during his turn. So now it's actually the start of my turn, and I only have these wounds in my hand now. I was not allowed to draw all these cards, because I would only be allowed to draw these cards. Oh man, this is a little complicated now. Was I allowed to level up actually? I don't know that. Well, I think not, because normally you level up at the end of your turn, and it was his turn. So technically I think I'm not allowed to level up yet. So I'm still at a card limit of 6. And I have to see, maybe I can rest in the city and recover from a wound. I got to check that. Okay, so that is exactly what I thought. So first I forgot to discard these cards up here. They go also in the discard pile, and I have to re-roll this die. That's a golden mana. And then I'm allowed to do a mana search. And I will do this. I will use the golden mana and, well, probably, not sure, maybe a, I'm not sure about that. Maybe a blue one. I think it would be good to get a black mana. We'll see about that. Yeah, that's okay. So we got now a black mana and a white one. And now I can rest. You always can rest if you don't want to move. You have these two options. You can move, or you can say I rest. And if you rest, you can recover from your wounds. So that means you can do the standard resting. You have to discard one non-wound card and any number of wound cards. But I can do this because I don't have a non-wound card. So in this case, I have to show to the other players that I have only wound cards, and I would now be allowed to discard one of these wound cards. And that is basically my turn. I cannot do anything else in this turn. So that's the end of the turn, and now I can level up. And gives me now this new command token, and I can also draw now new cards. And I can now draw up to 9 cards because I'm in a city. So now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Exactly. So that's it. And I think this is pretty good. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, fine. I think that's my winning hand now. So, what happens during his phase? He's in frenzy again. By the way, if he's fanned it off, it's a little complicated. If he's fanned it off, then he is pushed back to the opposite side of the map, and he's pushed 2 spaces away. In this case, this would mean he would be outside the map on an imaginative space here, I think. I'm pretty sure it's like that. And now actually, because he's on frenzy, he can move 2 spaces. So he can attack right away again, and he moves in here and then tries to attack. And so now he rolls again the die for his personal attack. That's a black one. And somehow I got a feeling that's a bad one. Yeah, that's not exactly great. So this is a yeah, that's a normal attack, brutal, assassination, and paralyzing. So that's bad. We have to block this attack. Otherwise, we have to take the wounds. We cannot give the wounds to someone else because of the assassination attack, and we had to throw away all our non-wound cards because of the paralyzing ability. So that would be pretty bad. So I have to somehow block this. Let's see what I can do here. Okay, I'm not absolutely sure. I guess I'm not sure if I can use this ability, for example, to block him. I don't know that. Cannot tell. Let's say I cannot do this. I think it works anyway. I use these 3 cards. I simply play them sideways to block this attack. And yeah, that's fine then. And then we have the attack of the guardsman. This is 3. Attack value of 3. And I think, well, it doesn't really matter. I give the peasants the wounds. So that's fine now too. And then I will end this game with a powerful tornado. It says play this only in the attack phase of combat, destroy target enemy. So I will now use the white mana crystal that I have, and I will take a black mana die from the source. And this is good enough to use this spell and to simply destroy the guardsman. And believe it or not, it is hard to believe, it seems I've won this game. I'm not sure, maybe I made some errors in this final big battle, it's possible, I don't know that. But on the other hand, I think I still got some reserves here. I mean, I have 2 unwounded units, and I'm not doing so bad, and there are still lots of cards there. So I think even if I had made an error here or so, I had a good chance to win this game anyway. But I think I did it. Yeah, I think it was a victory, and I'm pretty proud about it. Actually, it's the first time I ever managed to win this game. So yeah, great evening. And I absolutely did not expect this, especially after I had this terrible second round where I made this wrong decision because I did not know there was an alternative to fight Volker. I could have simply retreated and take just a few wounds and that's it then. In this turn I took about 10 or 12 wounds, and I've lost another turn to recover in the monastery. So that was pretty tough. But apart from that, I think I played a good game, actually. I know I made a lot of mistakes. I think the most of them were not so bad. A few of them were maybe, but I think I corrected most of the mistakes that I made. And yeah, I think it was okay after all. Okay, few words about the game. It's epic. It's great. I mean, you've seen that. I'm completely sucked into the story now. I'm completely into this, and it was really intense. It was a great story. It had its ups and downs. It's just amazing. I think it's a great, great game, and it improves. The more you play it, the better it gets. Because at the beginning, the rules are not easy, and it's hard to... Actually, it's not only the rules. The rules are not such a big problem. I mean, yes, there are a lot of details that you can do wrong, and that I still do wrong. Of course I do. But that doesn't disturb so much the flow of the game. And the basic concept of the game, the basic rules, are actually quite simple. You have these 4 basic actions. You play your cards. You can activate the second ability with mana. You can use 1 mana from the source. You can play cards sideways. And it's all not that terribly complicated. It's more the details. Some details in the fighting that are pretty complicated with these special abilities, and when you have to use them, and when these special abilities apply also to other units. So especially if you fight multiple units, it gets really a little complicated. But that is also where the challenge is, actually. And I mean, you cannot compare this game to a game like, let's say, Runebound, which is also a fantastic game. It's one of my favorites. But if you expect something like that, you will be disappointed, definitely. And maybe that's the point why some people don't like this game, because they expect something different. This is a big puzzle. You have extremely interesting challenges, growing challenges, and you have to figure out how to solve them by using the cards, the crystals, the dice, the special skills, the units, all that stuff that you have. And in the beginning it's not so complicated, because you don't have so many cards, don't have so many skills, just have maybe no unit, and so you can... It's actually pretty easy at the beginning. And when the game goes on, progresses, you have more and more options. And that makes it more and more complicated. But it also makes it more and more interesting. And if you take your time and play a few games, try it again and again, this can be really become a great experience. And I was very frustrated during my first games, because I just made it somehow to the first city after 6 turns, and then I lost badly. I couldn't conquer the first city. In the base game scenarios, the goal is basically to conquer 2 cities during 3 days. And I always screwed up in the last day, tried to conquer the first city. So I always thought that could never be possible. And during my last game, I actually managed to conquer the first city, and I was really happy. That was a real success, and I felt great. And now during this game, it was just awesome. I could conquer a city, I could kill this guy, could kill dragons. Wow, just amazing. I feel really pumped. It's just great. Okay, so yeah, basically it's needless to talk about the components after this praise that I did now about the game, about the concept. But of course the components are also very good. Thick markers here. The tiles are fine. The artwork is really cool. I like that. I love the map. The randomness of the map gives a lot of replayability to this game. I also like the artwork of the cards. I think that looks pretty good. And the cards are maybe a little thin, but I sleeve them anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I like it if you can see the structure of these cards, you know, the structure of the paper. I like these kind of cards, if they're not so blank. So, yeah, great components, everything fine, wonderful game, great recommendation, plays perfect solo. I think it's maybe the best in the solitaire mode. Many people say if you play with really more players, maybe 3 or 4, it's not so great because you have your downtime. You have to wait until everybody's through with his turn and so on. But I think 1 or 2 players, fantastic game, great experience. Take the effort and work your way through the first games, and then it's just amazing. Okay, so I guess that's it, and thanks for watching this series, and I hope to see you in my next videos. Bye.